Welcome back to another episode of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's going on, dude?
And on the sticks, we got TJ.
Hello.
All right. We just got finished recording a 20-minute video talking about AI, decentralized finance, artificial intelligence.
That's right. We needed something to talk about, right? Now that bull market's back.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know. That was
Is it back?
That was yesterday's vibes.
You're right. It's kind of back.
What do you mean? What are you looking at here?
I'm going to look at Bitcoin. That's the only thing to look at in crypto, right?
Yeah, but
Oof.
I don't know. Yesterday, Bitcoin was like soaring to 84,000 or something.
Yeah.
And now it's all back down again.
Well, that's because of tariffs, right? China and...
Yeah, I don't know. It's like every single day, like sentiment completely shifts.
Well, what brought it back? So it was a 90-day pause on tariffs. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, people, man, dude, it's so memey because it's like Trump tweets 90-day pause. All of a sudden, all the numbers go up.
Pretty much.
What are people doing with their money, dude? They're just like,
Well, I mean, it's
looking at the charts all day or what?
correct. Yeah. I mean, we talked about DeFi AI. You don't think Wall Street has like these AI bots that's also
Yeah, good point, dude.
also reading like social sentiment, and it's like, oh wow, people are really excited about this Trump tweet, and it's like time to buy, and then
Yeah,
trillions of dollars in and out, in and out, in and out.
that would explain it, like automatically, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. Now people are alleging, this whole thing is just coordinated, like
Pump and dump?
yeah, it's like Trump insider group.
Well,
It's just-
Trump insiders, apparently they were selling ETH at losses.
Yeah, but that could just be like a nice little, diversion
Yeah,
tactic,
maybe so.
right? It's like,
Yeah, smart move.
yeah, it's like, how could we be, profiting off of insider information if here
If
we are
making 100 million losses.
Yeah, Exhibit A. It's like, no, it was like 10 million. It's like we scraped off like a $10 million ETH loss
Yeah.
24 hours before, the announcement of the 90-day pause. It's like, what insider would do such a thing? Meanwhile, there's like $500 million
Sure.
elsewhere that was like,
Yeah,
You know.
was made.
yeah, some kind of call option or
Call,
something.
yeah, that's right.
I don't know, but that's what people are alleging now, just because, why else would Trump be like intentionally injecting this degree of volatility into the market?
Yeah. Yeah, I shared with you a video of CoffeeZilla. It was like a 6-9 minute video where he was like talking about this very thing where basically crime is legal, and like he was just laughing at the fact that it's like just blatant and flagrant and like it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is that blatant yet. I think right now it's still speculation, right? Because there's obvious.
Well, insider trading is illegal.
No, I know.
Right. So that's what a lot of these like meme tokens launches, they were insider traded.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what he was referring to, not so
Oh.
much the tariffs in China and
Okay.
pump, but
Yeah.
but he's just like commenting on the fact that it's like, if Trump is doing this, it's so flagrant and obvious if he's doing that, right? It's still debatable whether or not he's insider trading,
Or somebody within his camp, right? I mean,
which is the
it's-
same thing. It's the same thing.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is like be around, right? Where
Yeah.
these like these boardroom meetings are happening or whatever.
Right.
White House office meetings
Yeah.
where it's like, dude, China isn't gonna fold, aren't they? And like the rest of the world is really panicking here. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I guess what we could do is call for a pause in the rest of the world and like actually, amplify our attack to China, which seems to be like the strategy moving for now.
I feel like it's a pretty reasonable strategy. They were talking about like over 50 countries looking to negotiate, and some of those countries, they tend to be aligned with China, but not so much when it comes to tariffs. And so it's sort of like, showcasing, the actual alignment that countries would rather have is with the United States and not with China.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so this is a bad look then, what you're saying? It's like the whole world just kind of like ousted out
Kind of.
their own position.
They revealed their hand. They're like, well, I'd rather go with the U.S. than China.
Yeah, it's no surprise. Like the world is like whores for cash, right? It's like everybody's like, whatever you say, just don't cut off like,
our
the
business.
easy money machine over here, dude, where everyone's like milking it.
Yeah, and think about it. The last 30 years has been the industry designed with these tariffs already implemented, right? And so a lot of the production has been happening overseas, and we've been importing all this stuff. And now, if you decide to change the rules, all of a sudden, this like infrastructure investment is like irrelevant. It's like you're losing money now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see it causing this much panic.
Yeah, well, we made a video because on Monday or Tuesday, because we had to. Monday was supposed to be Black Monday. Is that what they call it?
Correct.
Like it happened in like 1980s.
98, 87, sorry.
Yeah, where there was like a tremendous sell-off. So everybody was like expecting that to happen. Didn't really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was like a pretty massive sell-off on Tuesday, right? And then like a sharp recovery the next day. Here we are recording this on a Thursday, but you guys are watching this on a Saturday.
Yeah, we could be at 100K Bitcoin on Saturday.
Yeah, so at this point, it's pretty toxic, I would say, right? To kind of be doing anything, at least in the context of our POV, which is crypto, right? It's like, in market conditions like these, it's hard to really get a footing on, what to do next, other than like rely on, the past, which is like, when you're zoomed in like points in time, like right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Like if it feels like there's no way you're going to come out of something as bleak of a situation as this, sometimes, you have to like really slap yourself, right?
Zoom out, yeah. I was going to say, so Bitcoin from its all-time high is down roughly 35%.
Yeah, it's nothing, dude.
Well, I was going to say, in previous bull cycles, we've seen multiple 35% downturns.
Yeah.
On the way from like $1,000 to $20,000 Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And so 35% down today is not that crazy. It's not within the realms of like a bull cycle.
No, it's actually like perfectly healthy, right?
Yeah.
It just feels dramatic, I guess, for Bitcoin because it's just so much like value.
Yeah, I guess what's different now is that it's being influenced by, presidents and countries making decisions. Like, it wasn't like that back in 2017.
Yeah, I agree. So, we made like a video on Monday about this and kind of you gave a prediction of, what'd you say, 150K?
Yeah, 150K is still reasonable, but there are others saying 225, 250.
I think Charles Hoskinson just went on some program, CNBC or something, and said 250,000 is
by the end of the year, he said.
Did he say that?
I think he did.
He said it either this year or next year, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
because maybe we have like a prolonged market cycle here because like it seems like it's taking a while for Bitcoin to kind of like coil up and to like really get into a
I just don't know about
price
all
discovery
that,
mode.
I can't say with any confidence in 2026 we're going to see an all-time high. When 2026 is like the start of the bear, at least from a patterns perspective.
Yeah, man, but patterns are meant to be broken, right?
No, a pattern is not supposed to be
patterns
broken.
are meant to be
consistent,
followed and worshipped. It's like you don't deviate from the patterns at all.
No,
I don't know, man. I think that logic is like what gets people wrecked
for sure.
Like last cycle where it's like Bitcoin always like tops out in this red zone on this pattern chart, right? And then it's like, nope, not this time, suckers. Right? So like last cycle, people are probably more conservative, right? PTSD, right?
PTSD, yeah.
Because we got fucked trying to like.
So that means people. I was like, oh shit, we actually hit 150. I'm going to sell because everyone else is saying 250, and then it actually hits 250.
Maybe like 450.
Yeah, more 450. Yeah.
Dude, what a nightmare, dude. This is what I hate. This part of like being in the market.
Yeah.
Like, trying to like time ins and outs and shit. This is why Warren Buffett is the ultimate G, dude. He doesn't do this nonsense. He just sits on it for generations.
Yeah.
That's really like, it should be that simple, but we don't allow ourselves to live such stress-free lives. We always have to like test our like brilliance or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Warren Buffett's strategy. That's how I would rather play it. But I know that, in 2017 you saw 20K and then it went down to 3K. I was like, well, I should have just sold it.
Yeah, of course. You do those calculations, right? Had I sold the top and bought back in at the bottom,
I would have gotten 6 times as many Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's like
it also helps when you have millions of dollars in cash just sitting there for you.
Yeah. That's the real strategy, is have a ton of cash, operating capital, if you will, for your life.
Yeah.
And then you have your investment portfolio, which is like, that's what
That's true.
you kind of like put in and just like forget about it.
In other words, he's not a victim of poor man syndrome.
Yeah.
Which
I don't even know if that's a real syndrome, but we've made it up and it's consistent.
Let me look it up. Is anybody else like, did we actually, poor man syndrome, dude? Or more accurately, a poverty mindset refers to a psychological state characterized by a scarcity mentality, self-doubt, and a tendency to blame external circumstances for shortcomings hindering personal growth and success. Now, that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, poor man syndrome is where you make bad decisions because you have to like pay the light bill. Instead of leaving it in like a potential, 100x, you have to like sell it to.
Yeah, I guess. Or yeah, what is it?
It's like but it's also this perpetual like shooting yourself in the foot because you don't have enough to like.
Yeah. Well, it's because like when you're in like the poverty zone, like most of us, right? It's like when you experience these moments in the market where you get like a 10x or like a 20x on like even something like $1,000 buy.
Sure.
You end up with 10,000, 20,000. That's like a significant milestone.
Sure.
Capital injection into like your where you are in like the status of the financial realm because you're poor, right? So it's like, how could you not seize and like execute those trades? You tend to do that more often than not, and then you blow opportunities where had you not executed on that trade, you get the 100 to 1000x, right?
So what you're saying is you make the 20 grand, but you don't sell?
No, you do sell because like that 20 grand can do something substantial
to
like, livelihood.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
As opposed to somebody who's already sitting on like stacks of it.
Right.
Like a 10 or 20x, whatever, it doesn't really change much.
Right.
So it's like I have the luxury of just like not really worrying about anything. And then things tend to like go even more heavily in my favor as a result.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It's like if that like, I don't know. Like that needs to be overcome in order to get to that point, or just, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird dilemma.
I don't know. I think if you invest 1,000 and you make 20 grand, I think you have to sell it, right? Because how to double that, to go from 20 to 40 grand on the same asset, it needs to double again. And like the likelihood of that happening is lower than taking your 20 grand out and then redistributing it multiple assets, I guess. And having each double, but then you're
taking risk, and then you end up like over trading, and then that you get dwindled down. To
and then you look back on it as if I had just held, I would have gotten the exact same returns, which is, it could be a 2x or it could be like nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Depending on, the circumstances. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's something that everybody has to deal with and learn about, I think, when you're dabbling into any market, really, But, yeah, so that's what we call the poor man syndrome. It's what
I guess another version is you put in 1K, you make 20K, and then you sell, and then that asset like takes off.
Yeah,
you could have made 200 grand if you had just kept it.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you're not poor, you don't have that pressure to sell.
Correct. Yeah.
As early on, right? Like the Beeple that I bought
Yeah.
last cycle, right?
That's right.
I bought it for $800.
Mm-hmm.
It did a 10x. I never thought this fucking stupid little Pikachu picture would like do anything. I bought it purely because I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool. And then it did a 10x. It's like, dude, I have to take this 8,000.
Yeah, because then you could buy it, you know, for 750 somewhere down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But then guess what? It ended up being worth like 400 grand. Like literally a month later.
Yeah.
Right.
Sad days.
I know, right? Again, it's perpetual boredom, dude.
Yeah.
You know, just that is what it is, and you know, it's a trench, like an actual trench that people are stuck in, dude. That's why they say like your first million is the hardest.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, but once you get to that point, it's like
we spend enough time on Twitter where people who make millions, who have millions, who are investing millions in the market, they lose millions too.
Oh my god!
Like
I saw some dude who got liquidated for like 28 million recently or something. Like he was long ETH.
Oh
like,
no! Sorry, TJ.
Yeah,
you didn't have to put me out there like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. No, yeah. I was sorry, dude.
Yeah.
It's been a tough cycle for you so far.
It really has.
Oh,
I was telling you guys earlier, like I don't know how long I've been holding ETH, many
dude,
years.
a long
Yeah,
time.
but dude, for the first time ever, it's like I'm starting to second guess myself.
That has to be
Yeah.
a bottom signal, right? Because
It has to be.
you are truly a diamond hander.
As you should be. Remember, like if
Yeah,
you don't care, you tend to have better results, right? Rather than like looking at the charts all day, every single day, and second guessing your decisions.
Yeah, had TJ taken the poor man syndrome route and like exited at 4K,
Yeah, you'd have been better off.
you've been better off, right? Right now, as of today.
Right.
But a year from now, you might be,
Or 10 more years, TJ.
who knows? However long it takes, right? If you're fucking in your 70s, you're Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in it now. It's
Yeah, it's just
we'll see it. We'll ride it all the way to zero if we have to.
Yeah, I think that's the best play because it's not going to go to zero, but it could go to 10K, maybe 10 years from now or next year.
Yeah, why? Okay.
But then it's like, okay, let's say next year 10K, 2026 January 1st, 10K ETH. Congrats, TJ. What do you do at that point?
Crypto ranch.
yeah, he already has a whole plan, dude.
Dude, what if it goes to like 30K ETH?
I'll be poor. Poor man.
He'll be on his ranch, dude. He'll have
I guess.
he'll be mass producing eggs by then. They'll be way more valuable, right? Like all this crypto stuff, dude. But I'm more so like, okay, like I don't think, dude. It's been a while since we've talked about like ETH on this channel. Like, what the hell?
It has been a while.
It used to be like the thing,
It used to be the only thing
that we talked about because we were actively building on ETH.
There was a lot of shit happening.
Well, yeah, it's like we were building on ETH. Yeah, like it felt like the vibes of innovation,
The Renaissance
stemmed
dude.
from it. Yeah, it's like, dude, last bull market was like incredible. I feel like in comparison to what we're experiencing so far.
100%, dude.
Yeah, like I'm seeing things like on abstract, right? Like, abstract chain, which is the Pudgy Penguins chain. It's like
the second coming, dude. This is the real chain.
Yeah, the talk of the town is like some project called Big Coin, not Bitcoin.
Big coin.
Big BIG coin, and it's essentially it's carbon copy of Bitcoin's tokenomics, but like in a much condensed time frame. So it's like instead of 4-year halving cycles, we're talking like a month or two, right? So, and in order for you to actually be a participant in this, like the Ponzi-nomics of this all, you don't have to like spin up like a hardware facility.
Oh,
you
I
just
see.
have to buy a digital representation of that, which is like a pixel bedroom, right? And like acquire it as if it's a miner and like inject more stimmies into it for it to upgrade and increase your hash power so you get more big coins.
I mean, this is a mechanic we've seen here and there, right? We even saw it on Bitcoin ordinals as R6, right?
Yeah. Exactly. This is what I mean. It's like, these are like very traditional like
Ponzi-nomics
things that we've seen already, and like they're taking wind as if like this is this cycle's major innovation. But I don't know. I think people know that's not the case. It's just
they're just memeing. They're
it's
exaggerating.
Like it's a collective agreement to like let's all delusionally think this is the next big thing so that we can make number go up.
Yeah.
Right?
So everyone understands they're playing hot potato, right?
Yeah, but see, last cycle people didn't realize that. Like we saw tons of these things happening, whether it was like Axes, like scholarship program,
all
the different play to earn variants and such. Tons of
I remember we would
wave.
read like one article that was like, hey, this is
not sustainable.
This is a Ponzi. This is not going to work. And we're like,
everyone's like, shut up, shut up, you stupid. It's like everyone just got so mad against that guy. Yeah. It's like, you're an idiot.
And
he Twitter.
He was wrong for a while though. He was wrong because it was working.
Yeah, he actually looked like an idiot. It's like, he called this not sustainable, dude. There's like millions of people.
Yeah.
In Vietnam.
Yeah, they're paying their bills. They're having a good life.
Yeah.
As a result.
Off these little puffball dudes, dude.
Yeah.
Like
and we were
against each other.
And we were thinking this is a new paradigm. This is what Web3 is supposed to do. It's supposed to sustain people's activities through new mechanisms, through new business models. And like this is why we're here. It's like this is cool.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't work.
It didn't work. Damn it.
Yeah.
Why can't we get back to that, dude? Those are great times. Yeah, unfortunate reality is like it exposed a lot of things, and it presented some really big problems that actually need real like solutions for.
Yeah.
And like, man, these are like really hard to do. And
Yeah, that's in an era where like the metaverse made sense to a lot of people. It's like, oh, this is COVID era. It's like, well, if we can't really be physically present, we can at least be virtually present, and like things made sense. And so yeah, that was, I don't know, maybe that was like the stars aligning for a lot of these things. Yeah. And like in a different circumstance, they would be just like not work for as long as it did, at least.
Yeah, it's just part of the renaissance of like, last cycle was ETH's first cycle where, developers had full grips as far as like, what can be done through the utilization of smart contracts, and, experimentation was rampant, right? It was very interesting times. Like there was just so much happening, so many new iterations of like, useful protocols and such. So this time around, not seeing too much of that. We're trying our best to keep up with like, all the different chains now, right? Because I guess that's kind of what is contributing to Ethereum's like bleed.
Yeah.
At least in like the market perception of its value, right? Because now you could spin up an Ethereum-esque chain like basically at will, and there's like hundreds of them. And the only thing that really differentiates the value between these chains is like who's pushing the influence to navigate people to like inject their liquidity there or not. It has nothing to do with like the technical fundamentals of it.
Yeah,
it's some other thing, right? It's some like it's like a cultural ethos thing. I don't know, right? You have to like really be present in those early days to understand, what is it about Solana that like attracted the right influencers, the right
correct
market makers, players, whatever, to really like get this whole meme mania started, right? It could have happened anywhere.
Yeah, I feel like influencers are playing a bigger role here, influencing.
Yeah, I think so.
I've seen tweets that have said I've completely sold my entire position on ETH, and instead I bought Sol. And I feel like that's another bottom signal for ETH too. I don't think ETH is
done.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the fact like if things like Base or Arbitrum or whatever. Yeah. These L2s, if they experience like their waves of success, does that like why doesn't that sentiment trickle back to ETH?
Yeah, right? I don't know. I don't even understand like
well, for sure there's a revenue problem, right? Like these sequencers on L2s, like they gobble up all the actual revenue away from ETH.
Correct, yeah.
So at least there's that, right? It doesn't like ETH isn't even like as profitable like as a chain as it used to be, as more L2s as they produce these more like user-friendly environments.
What is the value of L1 then? Like, what do you gain by being an L2 to an L1?
Like what vampire attack, dude. Like straight like suckering away from the network effect of ETH, bringing it into your little chain environment.
So if you're Ethereum Foundation, you're Vitalik, what are you telling the teams? Like, we need to make a faster chain and maintain security? Like, what's the...
I think it's like, we need to pull a Trump, dude, and charge tariffs on all these L2s. It's like...
Yeah, dude. Maybe so.
50% tariffs on base,
Yeah.
Kind of. It's
maybe
like
that's the play,
all these L2s are actually just... They're building their own economies, like within their own...
Yeah.
And then again, like they're generating all of that fee, and then they're just sending it all to Ethereum, and like none of the value is being returned. Right? It's like, oh yeah, we settled it on your chain, but we made all the money over here.
Right.
All the attention's over here. Therefore, ETH price go down. Right. So it's like the fuck. At some point, we need reciprocality again. Right. Reciprocal.
Yeah.
Yeah. ETH is getting cucked, dude.
Yeah.
There's kind of like there's a definite parallel there between like I guess the United States positioning was like the United States built this incredible economy over the last since World War II, post World War II era, and then now we're like opening trade between all the nations of the world, call them the L2s.
Yeah.
Right. Everything's settled with the dollar. It's kind of like ETH.
Yeah.
But now as a result of that, all these L2 countries are like
They created their
outpacing-
own economies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
outpacing our growth, and it's like the fuck. Now Trump is like, no, guys, no more of that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to like kick it up a notch if you want to like keep this going, right?
Yeah.
So that our dollar sustains.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty reasonable explanation to what's happening to Ethereum.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I hear people saying things like this, right? I just don't know if like the Ethereum Foundation has taken like a staunch like position, whether or not.
Yeah. How would you even enforce it? And I mean, what is the value that brings that an L2 gets from an L1? I don't understand.
What is the value? What?
Well, like why not have Base and Polygon network? Why not just be their own independent chain?
Well, then you don't have the provenance of Ethereum, right? It's like if you spin up a new L1, like you just spun up a new L1 like a couple months ago, as opposed to ETH has been running for a decade.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it's like Bitcoin. Like, well, why isn't there value to like having your data on Bitcoin?
well,
For
yeah,
sure, right?
but you're on Bitcoin. You're using Bitcoin in that situation. You're not having some side chain on Bitcoin that is being rolled up to Bitcoin. And because all the volume and activity is happening on your chain, just because you take those transactions, you roll it up to Bitcoin, doesn't really do much.
Yeah, it's market perceptions, right? It's like somehow that packaging of a roll up gives those transactions more, the immutable properties that Bitcoin.
Yeah, I guess if the chain gets hacked and you start manipulating like the balances,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, those balances conflict with what's on Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess.
Yeah, so that's why we saw such a massive L2 wave, like when the Bitcoin ecosystem was like really hot.
Yeah,
2023. It's like we knew what was coming next, right? We just knew it.
yeah.
It's like, dude, there's gonna be like 100 L2s saying, they're gonna essentially do what we saw. with
100,
ETH.
like that's not an exaggeration. It's
Yeah.
over 100.
Yeah, and like they're ghost towns, right?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thought. If the market continues in this direction, I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
what does
man,
ETH do?
I just
If not that, then what is it? What are the other major problematic features of Ethereum that what needs to be changed in order for sentiment to return?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Petra upgrade is coming. Maybe like this month, I think.
So you're saying something about what does that do? Something to do with the
Account
wallets? Yeah.
Account abstraction, smart wallets.
Okay.
You can do subscription based business models with your wallet now. So you can subscribe to a particular application on Ethereum, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
Right, because I don't think we figured out a business model on Web3 that's not like per transaction.
Yeah, or like some sort of like token dependent,
Yeah,
like sustainability vertical.
yeah,
Yeah, which right now proven to be like, not fruitful. Like when down markets, like you can't just depend on tokens alone.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that sounds like a potential candidate for, if there's sensible businesses being built on Ethereum with
Yeah.
like real users with real.
Yeah, it always reminds me of the question that the All In podcast guys were giving Brian Armstrong in an interview. It's like, we've had 15 years of crypto. Where are the products? It was like, well, Brian was like, NFTs is a product, owning digital assets.
Yeah.
But then that was pretty much it. And like, obviously money,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that was it. Like, we haven't seen anything beyond that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's tons of product iterations. Just nothing is really
Stuck.
stuck. Yeah. Like for sure the killer product is, massive access to speculative markets, I think.
Ponzi's?
Well, I mean, you can call them that. I mean, you don't think like, stock market in a sense is, I mean, essentially stocks, they really do function like meme coins.
They do, for sure.
They don't have any real purpose other than like determining, dividends allocation, right? That's like the
True.
max level of utility for like a company share.
Yes.
It's literally it's like who owns what percentage of a company, just like meme coins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who owns what percentage of this vibe?
The meme.
Right? So it's the same like instrument,
Yeah.
but a different application.
Yeah, I guess the benefit of the stock is that you get this dividend from the revenues of the
Right.
company that you own.
Yeah,
Versus a meme, it's like you just get a vibe dividend.
that's right.
You get the flex, and
You get the share in the culture.
yeah,
Right.
number goes down, and everyone,
Laughs at you.
yeah,
If you round tripped it to 0, right? You're still holding MLG bags.
right.
Loser, right? Shit like that. That's how it goes in the crypto market. But nonetheless, it's like, yeah, that's what crypto is introducing. I saw a Bankless interview of the Robinhood
Oh yeah,
CEO where they're talking about the idea of tokenizing pre-IPO companies.
yeah.
right?
That was cool.
That is a fascinating thought because, I mean, just in the context of like what's happening in the AI space, there's so many valuable pre-IPO startups
Yeah,
that if you tokenize
100%.
what it is that they're working on and create speculative markets around that, I mean, shit, talk about mania, dude.
Yeah, I'd be all in on that. I mean, part of what I like about crypto is the side where you get to speculate on potential, not just gambling on meme coins, right?
Well, that's also speculating on potential, the potential virality of a vibe or culture, meme or whatever.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing.
But
in
you're
the meme
gambling though. For that specifically, you're gambling. But if you find a sector like Web3 AI and you see some some novel applications of Web3 and AI together, you can make bets on these things being successful.
Well,
but you can't pick a meme out of 1,000 memes and say this one's going to be more successful than the next. That's more random.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing I didn't understand, and I don't think they what's his name, Vlad? I don't know.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think it
it's
is Vlad. Yeah.
Didn't really expand or elaborate on is like what is the tie together from like a pre-IPO market to once a
Correct.
startup gets to
Yeah.
an IPO stage.
Great question.
I don't think that's been clear, which is probably indicative of maybe this is just like an ideation thing for Robinhood, or I don't know if they're like in the process of like
Actually getting it like
to a
official.
point where you, if you have your Robinhood app, you can buy Perplexity,
Yeah, OpenAI.
OpenAI coin,
Yeah.
or what are some other cool AI?
I feel like they have to be bought in by the
Midjourney. I
company.
don't know.
Yeah,
Midjourney would be a good one.
yeah. They have to be bought in, right? OpenAI, Midjourney, all these companies be like, yes, I'm in.
But not necessarily, right? Well, yeah, I think
Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
like you could just spin up a Solana token
Yeah,
called
yeah.
OpenAI.
you're right. Yeah, so Robinhood seems like a legitimate enough actor to actually
To make it
attract
official.
those. Yeah, because that's a fucking crazy market if it really existed. Because yeah, we just talked 3 major names, but at some point in time, these were like totally ignored
Yeah, 100%.
startups with like basically no value. Nobody believed in what it is they were building
Yeah.
initially, but now they're juggernauts and titans on their way to IPO, right? But there are tons of other startups out there that are still like struggling, and they need
Yeah.
some sort of access to, you know, the quick capital formations that these crypto rails clearly provide. I mean, meme
Yeah.
coin markets are insanely liquid.
Voluminous.
Yeah, whenever times are right?
Yeah.
It's just that all that weaponry that is like the rails of the meme coin market is just waiting to be applied to something
Yeah.
a little bit more sensible or a little bit more market attractive at this point. right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and going back to what I was saying, I like the fact that I can make bets that, you know, have some semblance of like potential, you know,
Something.
sustainable, like being sustainably correct.
Yeah, but the problem with that market though is like you'd actually have to like study,
For sure. Yeah.
right? It's like it'd be like trying to figure out which of these epicenter subnets should
Yeah.
I allocate my detail
Yeah,
to.
but I feel like that is a worthy endeavor, though.
100%, because there is a market of people who actually
To do that, yeah.
have, you know, some cells rubbing together up there, you know, at least a few.
Yeah.
And like, they're not just, they could, you know, peer into some docs and maybe like utilize AI itself to like really understand
Sure.
this AI project or company
Yeah.
in the making, right? That's
Yeah, I feel like
viable.
that's more entertaining than just like gambling. Gambling is fine. It's just that I want to win more often than lose, and you
Yeah.
don't do that by gambling.
I I mean, it's still gambling, but it's like a whole different spectrum of
Yeah, it
gambling.
is. It
Because
is
like
a
these,
form of
these
gambling.
AI startups, they literally can get nuked overnight by like some other.
But it's
AI.
okay. It's okay to get nuked as long as you have conviction in that bet. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you never lose sleep at night for making that bet.
Yeah.
But you would lose sleep by betting on a meme that just gets nuked.
Yeah, like rugged, actually.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting extrapolation. Like, it's because if not that, then what, right? It's like, okay, if these macroeconomic issues are resolved and the world feels peachy again.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we've got 90-day, like, you know, opportunity here, I guess. Right? It's like Trump just signaled to the world for the next 90 days at least.
Yeah.
It's like everything is rosy unless you're China. Then, you know, times are tough, right?
Yeah.
But that also has trickle effects to the entire world. So everyone's not off the hot seat at all.
Yeah.
Between this U.S. and China debacle.
And the whole world is paying attention because if Trump is right and this ends up working in the favor of the United States, it could mean lower taxes, income taxes for everybody, or almost no taxes for everybody.
Yeah, that's supposedly the goal, right? I don't know if
Yeah.
it's like a lie just to justify.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully not. Just because it seems so, like, no way.
Yeah.
Did you ever think at any point we would pay zero taxes
No,
in this country?
absolutely not.
Exactly.
Maybe lower taxes, but not zero.
Okay. I think he's saying zero, right?
He's saying, yeah, zero.
So, I mean, so if that's not a lie and like all these actions prove
Profitable for the United States.
to the degree, and that plus the like I guess the workings of Doge and Elon and such,
Mhm.
there's rumors floating around that like Elon's leaving.
He's not leaving.
Is that fake news?
Fake
Fakery?
news,
Dude,
yeah.
fucking
I know.
fucking media.
It's
dude.
like April Fool's every day for you, dude.
You just can't trust the world, dude. Everyone's
No,
trying to.
Elon said for sure that was fake news. He said it.
Okay.
He tweeted about it. He was like, "Yeah, fake news."
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like all those things combined, okay, now we don't have to pay taxes.
His tenure is supposed to end sometime in June, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
That was very fast.
Or yeah. I
yeah, he
think
said 180 days, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like half a year. Just damn, you're right. He's almost done.
Yeah.
So that
I don't think he's got much left to do. Maybe he needs to audit the SEC or the IRS too.
okay. Yeah, I guess.
Elon, you got work to do.
I guess I don't know what they're. I mean, shit. Why
Yeah,
not?
just
how about
audit everything. Fort Knox,
How about
IRS.
figure out what the CIA is, dude? And like,
I think, dude, he was in the CIA offices. He took a picture there.
see, now he's gonna die for sure. He's like, if he's targeting the CIA next, like they're the ones responsible for like all the like questionable assassinations
Correct.
and like
Yeah.
weird shit that people just get like drone strucketh.
Yeah.
It's like, who did that? President's like, wasn't me. It's fucking CIA, dude.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's
That's-
evidence to suggest that it was the CIA because of all these like JFK documents,
yeah,
Martin Luther King. CIA is all over the place.
yeah. If anything needs more like clarity and transparency, but then that's like a national security problem, right?
Yeah. No.
Which is why they get the fucking like freedom to do whatever they want, whatever it is they're up to, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
But if that's what it takes to keep like global order like maintained, fuck it, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, but the
As
point
long
is,
as you're not the one being assassinated.
trust me, dude, I'm not that interesting. It's like, what are they gonna stop me for, dude? Like, we really cannot have like Nat like out there, guys. It's like this thing might actually like be very valuable one day, and you know, maybe that might, you know, I don't know.
You get sniped at the gym. It's like, Scooge.
I don't go to the gym, so they'll never
You're
find me
safe.
there, dude.
You're
I'm
safe, dude.
I found my invisible.
That's where they're camping out.
They're just in all the 24-hour fitness parking lots, dude. Just like waiting for people. Just like, just take them out.
Yeah.
It's like Rainbow Charlie. Got him. Yeah, dude. I'm good. Invisible shield acquired, dude. But okay, the point being, everything works. A rosy, peachy picture outlook for the
Yeah.
future, and then no taxes. It's like, all right, now we got like Sentiment's up. Everybody has 30% purchasing power. Like,
Let's go, dude.
say this happens like some point Q3 this year. What do we buy? Just Bitcoin?
Buy everything, dude.
Everything?
You buy eggs, some chickens just in case.
Memes?
You buy some memes, dude.
So that might be like the actual meme super cycle that Murad
Maybe
has
he's
been
right.
like prophesizing about. Maybe. I mean, if you buy everything, just that's insane.
Yeah.
Like Bitcoin might actually.
I mean, what else do you do with an extra 30%?
Yeah, for real.
Roughly.
What do you think, TJ? What does that mean? Like 30%?
It's like finally get a Netflix account.
30. Yeah, a little more DoorDash.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like like fucking TGI Friday night got bumped up to like fucking I don't know.
It's like every night. Every
like
night's
fucking,
Friday night.
Fucking Chili's like triple dipper delight or something. I don't know, dude. I think those are like on par actually. What's above Chili's and TGI, dude? There's got to be
Chili's,
something. I'm really exposing my poverty here. It's like those are my Friday night dinner options. What?
Yeah, TG.
What do people
I don't
with
think
the
I've
wealth
ever eaten at TGI Fridays.
for real?
Ever.
It's like the same thing.
It is the same thing.
Yeah.
What's the one across the street from TGIF's?
BJ's Brewhouse.
BJ's, yeah.
You're right, dude.
That is
we're
the step
moving up
up.
to BJ's, dude. Fuck
Yeah, I was thinking
let's
like
go.
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster. God damn it.
That's
dude.
quite the step up, dude.
We're gonna need a few more tariffs before we get Red Lobster.
Holy shit, dude. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, we got a long way to go, dude.
Yeah, I mean, this conversation reminds me of like if you win the lottery, you don't pay off your bills. You instead invest it, and then you get 2 times, 3 times your investment, and then you start paying off bills off of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
lottery is probably too much. I mean, if your uncle dies and he sends you $100K, right? You don't pay off the bills. You invest it, and that $100K could turn into $1 million 5 years, 10 years from now.
yeah. And I think you're probably right. That would be a good like thing for the masses to hopefully come to realization. It's like,
I feel like that's the right thing to do with an extra 30%. You buy Bitcoin and forget about it.
that's it. Yeah, just whatever, right? Bitcoin or like we're saying because providers like Robinhood who bring accessibility to the masses, Coinbase, whatever. It really is like their time to shine, right? It's like, okay, public, we see that you now have like purchasing power. It's like, yeah, don't go to BJ's Brewhouse this Friday. Expend some of that extra income
on your GameStop stock
on your future. Yeah, yeah. Or here comes the pre-IPO market, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Start gambling on fucking the future of AI. Right?
Yes, I'm in.
Or like let's make memes a little bit more, I guess, palatable for the masses.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. That's like a whole maybe like the AI user interface is much more fleshed out by then and matured to where like mainstream.
Yeah, AI, get me into some memes. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go scour the internet, a million tweets. It's like, oh, this meme and that meme.
Yeah, that's actually, dude, because people already spend their lives on social media, so people are already like, they're good at
influencing AI ultimately.
Well, they're good at like finding social trends early.
Yeah,
right? All you have to do is be glued to the internet, and most people are already there.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever morning routine guy, the next thing will be nighttime routine guy. It's like take a fat doo-doo. Gotta expend all this shit that I ate. What else do you do at night? I don't know. A couple of yoga sessions.
Halo tournaments.
Fuck yeah, dude. Halo sesh. 420 blaze it. Maybe read a book or two, and then and that's it. This new meme is born, right?
Right.
And people on TikTok or whatever, they catch wind of that, and then all you have to do is talk to Grok.
Sure.
And like, I want to buy the hottest meme around this meme coin around this.
And then in the morning you wake up, you check your phone. Grok is like, oh, by the way, you're in the nighttime routine meme, and you're up 10x.
or you've lost everything. You know? Oops, I bought the wrong one. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like uninstall, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking loser. Yeah, maybe that happens within the next 6 months.
Yeah, I feel like that's the right culmination of everything, right? Trump's tariffs, AI,
Memes.
crypto being like acceptable in the United States. Like, let's merge them all.
Yeah, maybe we just figured it out, dude. Maybe
that is the catalyst for the next like leg up.
Yeah, like my point is like, what is it, right? We're always in this perpetual exercise on this channel. Like that is the point of what we do here.
Let me pull up the Bitcoin rainbow chart, because you brought up like how you see it. We're basically been stuck in a bear cycle this long.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. All right, so let me capture the 2021 cycle. All right, you see that? From 2021, FTX collapse, banks collapse. Right, we have $15,000 Bitcoin, and we've been give or take roughly still in the blue this whole time.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, if you go back to like post Mt. Gox collapse, it's basically the same thing. It's just it never really did squeak out of the blue zone back then, like the way this cycle squeaks were barely like blips, right? Like look at that, it stayed in the blue for basically the whole spin. It's what it feels like.
Yeah, Mt. Gox, 2012, 2013, and then stayed in the blue for 3 years, and then it exploded.
Things just accelerated quickly, and I just happened to catch wind of that explosion at the right time, right? That's when I entered the market right around that first bear trap right there.
Yeah, right here.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm in, and I happened to enter the market. Luckily, like during like numbers only go up zone, right?
Yeah.
So it gave me this rosy picture of the crypto space, right? It's fucking great. And then I didn't know what was coming, right?
Yeah.
Massacres.
Yeah, this is in a time where there was no such thing as a rainbow chart. So there's no way to gauge like.
Well, actually there was not a rainbow, but there were projected out, tops and bottoms.
It's a non-linear regression curve. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that was one of the first things I discovered.
Really? That was one of the first things?
Yeah, that was one of the first things that I like stumbled into.
Yeah.
Upon my re-entry into the crypto space in 2017, that gave me like real convictions. Like, holy shit! Like this is essentially programmed in.
Yeah.
To like only go up.
Yeah.
And so far, so good, right?
Yeah.
Since watching those like videos all the way back in 2017, right? It's like it's fulfilling.
Yeah.
Actually, which is fucking crazy when you think about it. It's literally a cheat code.
Right.
Financial cheat code. Bitcoin.
Yeah. It is insane. Yeah, I mean, this is what they call the wealth transition of a humanity. This is not going to happen again.
Yeah, probably not.
Like, yeah, what else could like supplant Bitcoin, dude?
Supplant?
Nothing.
No, there's no way. No. But there are certain things that can complement it, like that.
That's right. With as powerful as Bitcoin is, it has some serious problems. like for real. Like if you go to mempool.space, let's check it out right now. I think there's been more transactions recently, like within the last day or two, but it's still roughly empty. There's 2,000 transactions, 33 808. There's 3,500 transactions right now waiting to get mined. It's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the long term, when the subsidy ends, all of a sudden fees are supposed to pay for the network? I don't think so.
Yeah, it seems challenging. And yeah, us Bitcoin ecosystem, I guess, OGs, we still think about this daily, right? It's like we've experienced the whole spectrum of, of this thing. We witnessed the birthing of it with ordinals.
Yeah.
We witnessed like the evolutionary potential of it by seeing like, things like BRC20s.
Yep.
Other fungible token protocols like, atomicals, tap, runes, fucking Seaboard, CBRC20, everything, right? There's a lot of potential here on this chain that we can really start to architect, new things, including DMT, right?
That's right.
There's a lot of potential there, but then we also, experience the euphoria of that, the realization like, man, we're fucking early to something that like most people are fading. They have no idea that Bitcoin can even do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Wait till they find out. The fucking epine, the feel of that rub, right? It's like, man, you guys found the ordinals ecosystem before everybody else, right? It's like, man, you guys must be really cool. It's like, I'm still going to Chili's, guys. So like, it's like obviously our ability to point trends early like hasn't really manifested into much as far as like wealth goes, right? But that's, you can blame poor man syndrome for that, dude. Trenches are tough out here.
Yeah, that's right.
But nonetheless, so now we're like, everything is bled to, it's like, what can be interpreted as like, it's like, there's no more blood left.
Extreme fear right now.
Yeah. Well, across the board, but in the Bitcoin ecosystem, it's like, like,
yeah, that's true.
Like we just talked about how.
Yeah, it's weird from a fundamental perspective. Like you, as a crypto participant, you want to be in Bitcoin, just like the base asset. But the fact that the base asset, the $2 trillion asset that is being adopted by multiple countries, cities, states, institutions, has an ecosystem where you can put pictures on chain, you can put applications on chain, you can do stuff on the chain. Mm-hmm. You would think that you would also partake in that ecosystem as well because it's the Bitcoin network. Mm-hmm. But that thesis hasn't actually like stood out. It hasn't really sustained.
Yeah, it's because still like infra dilemmas and such. It's just there's an incompatibility with like the value of Bitcoin as like a ecosystem hub to what like the market expects, right? There's that misalignment, and there are many developers like working tirelessly to try and bridge that gap. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And ourselves included. It's like
it could be the perspective of the participants. Like many miss the Bitcoin boat, right? Especially anyone entering these days into Bitcoin is like $100,000 Bitcoins. Like I'm not going to invest in Bitcoin. I'm going to go and like try to get my 1000x over here, right? In abstract chain or whatever.
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, you're not going to be in Bitcoin's ecosystem if you have like that sort of like outlook on things. Because Bitcoin, like it's an old chain. It doesn't support, like you're saying, a good user experience. And so why even be here?
Yeah. So that's where we are right now. Like if anybody's like still interested, right, in understanding like the state of, the Bitcoin ecosystem, it's definitely like, apps like Odin and such, Odin.fun has really like chipped away at the on-chain maximalism, that idea that like things that like have sensible application to the market have, when it's built in context of Bitcoin, it has to adopt like the friction of Bitcoin itself, right? Yeah. It's like an expectation the market is just going to have to like kind of bend itself to in order to like transact on Bitcoin. Right. And the result of that is like, nobody wants to come and play. Right? Yeah. Basically. So it's finding, these new arms of co-processing, like, like Odin.fun found ICP, Track and Benny's team is building their own co-processing environment, their own L1. Yep. Arch Network is on the way with their own, like, just, environment for developers to build, with L1 assets in the co-processor environments. And there's others, OpNet's on the way. Who knows? There's probably others iterating in this direction. So I would expect that to be like the manifestation of, okay, we roll out these new environments, apps get deployed, like there's new markets emerging, kind of like how we see little micro markets emerge and L2s do ETH and such. Yeah, 100%. Some of them gain traction, some of them don't. And then if they gain traction, they kind of like die off, whatever. Right. But nonetheless, that is next wave that I think is going to convince people is like, okay, this is how we need to be building and expanding from here in the context of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I feel like from the fundamentals perspective, you can't go wrong with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ecosystem. Doesn't matter who's building on there, who's building like these secondary layers and all that stuff. It's like I think the ecosystem is worth considering. Like if you're looking to dabble in the ecosystem itself. So what we're looking at here is NatGMI, and DMT goes back to one of the fundamental things that we're always searching for is the new stuff. And DMT is that new stuff, especially in the context of Bitcoin, because you cannot do this anywhere else. And then we've made some of these updates that I don't know if we've talked about on the podcast, but we have the NatGMI being directed to the miners, and we created this sort of leaderboard that shows how much each miner has earned since block 885588, which is the first block that was sent to the miners.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this market cap slider here, this theoretical market cap of NAT, because if you agree that if you're looking at the mempool being as empty as it is, and the narrative of Bitcoin being a store of value, how do we have a store of value with a ton of transactions that are going to sustain the network? How do you reconcile those two understandings? And in our opinion, you cannot. You cannot reconcile it. And so we need a second subsidy, which is the NAT token. So now that it's being sent to the miners, it's like, well, how does this become a second subsidy? Like what sort of market cap needs to exist in order for it to be viable? So we created this theoretical market cap here where you do the slider and you say, all right, let's see 100 million market cap. How much has the miners earned over that period? So it's been maybe 6 weeks, 5 weeks or so. And in 6 weeks, Foundry has generated $240,000, right, at a 100 million market cap. So you 10x that's 2.4 million in 6 weeks. So now we start talking about an actual secondary subsidy that could sustain Bitcoin without having to have any transactions. All it is just market awareness, community growth, and then this essentially market cap goes up. It's the same reason Bitcoin goes up, because of this awareness factor, right? This network effect.
Yeah.
And so we feel like this is pretty viable.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it's just leveraging what it is we know as far as like what navigates and dictates the movement of the invisible hand of this market. Like we have a pretty clear grasp on that by now, right? It's not always like clear as to like what the invisible hand is really interested in, but they definitely appreciate new and interesting novel narratives, right?
Yeah.
That's why typically like when a new chain kind of rolls out, you see the same stuff kind of like position itself within that newly formed ecosystem. Like you got some
NFT platforms, you have DEXs, you have secondary marketplaces,
memes,
memes
that represent the culture of that chain, whatever. Like these are just expected primitives and like MVP products, but then like something even that's like a little bit like unique, like we're talking about this Bitcoin thing on Abstract.
Yeah.
It's like, it's singular, right? There's no other token like that. Maybe there was like another previous one called like On-Chain Heroes or whatever. It's like programmatic, like Ponzi-esque, I don't know, like token distribution designs. Like that gets people interested, right? Because it's a new thing to talk about. It's a new thing to speculate on. What's the ceiling of this? We don't know, because
it's new in the context of that chain, but not
right.
new from like an absolute perspective. DMT is new from an absolute. Yeah.
Yeah, which is why we think it's so valuable, and like it contains so much potential like energy, and it's all about like doing what needs to be done to convert that into like a kinetic state where it's like
it gets into the hands of users, they start talking about it, and the network effect.
Yeah, like tokens like NAT really become like center stage showpieces of like what it is you could do on Bitcoin.
That's right.
Why Bitcoin is interesting and it's unique to all the other chains.
Yeah.
And then on top of that is like really attract a whole new like wave of creators.
Yeah,
want to build on top.
In addition, specifically the NAT token actually solving a big problem.
That too.
That eventually everybody is going to be talking about. Eventually,
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, we don't know when. People are already talking about it, actually.
They are talking about it, but not like in this like center stage point of view.
Yeah, because again, the market demographic isn't looking for like solutions to real problems right now.
No, they're not.
I'm talking about the demographic of the invisible hand, like who's actually putting liquidity into markets. Like they're not looking for that yet, at least not at the moment, right? But again, they're looking for novel, interesting new narratives, which DMT absolutely checks all those boxes.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like getting the right exposure, getting the right people paying attention to this stuff.
Yeah.
And getting the right people to start building new, interesting products that showcase like the novelty, right? Like,
yeah.
That's what's going to capture everybody or retain their interest in the long run, I think.
Yeah. I mean, our interest in it is the fact that it's so novel, so new. And that's why we maintain our energy on it. There isn't a lot of things that we maintain energy on that isn't interesting to us. Like we continuously talk about BitTensor, we talk about the Metaverse, we talk about things like Bitmap, the Metaverse on Bitcoin. We talk about Bitcoin and, and DMT. All these things are fundamentally interesting to us, and that's why we maintain the energy that we have on it. And so yeah, I mean, if you guys find something else that you guys want us to talk about, let us know in the description, in the comments below. Yeah, and if you really enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your friends and family. And if you didn't like it, share it with some enemies. And hopefully they also share it with their enemies. And that's it for us. I appreciate you guys for watching, and we will catch you in the next podcast.
Peace.